Hi, wonderful people. It is Mark here from Not Defining. Thank you so much for being here. You are so welcome. Today, I'm delighted because we have a very special guest joining us on the platform. That's right. We are going to hear from the wonderful Xienna, who is a beloved member of our Not Defining community. She has kindly agreed to come on and talk to us a little bit about what it's like being a bisexual woman in this world. You've all heard me talk about what it's like being a bi guy, and today we're going to hear from her. So why don't we hear what she has to say?
Hello, Mark, and hello, Not Defining viewers. Today, Mark kindly asked me to jump onto his channel and answer some of his questions, so I thought I would do that. My name is Xienna, and I am 27 years old. I identify as bisexual, but I also identify as queer. I use them interchangeably. When did you first realize you weren't heterosexual? Around 11 or 12, 5th or 6th grade. I remember that. I mean, that's quite a defining moment, no pun intended, to your life, so there's no way I wouldn't remember. Yeah, it was an intense time for me, because I was so young, and I mean, that's hard enough going through no matter what age you are at the time when it's going on, but I feel like the younger you are, the harder it is, because when you're young, you barely understand anything. And so trying to wrap your head around something like sexuality at such a young age is like, especially when you're not straight, it's even harder. So that was quite a journey for me. I it was like stressful, but also in a way it was exciting because I was like, well, at least I'm finally figuring it out because I'd always felt off, and I don't mean necessarily in a negative way. But I was looking at everyone around me and I'm like, I am different. You know what I mean? It's something that I feel is hard not to notice when you're surrounded by other people your age and they're all acting different than you and have different types of relationships than maybe you've thought of, or things like that, or their attractions work differently and you notice that, including in my group of friends too, because they were all straight, at least when I was in school. Now I have a lot of queer friends, but before that wasn't really the case. And so it was very weird and awkward and, but I wouldn't say it was all positive and I wouldn't say it was all negative. Somewhere in between.
Thank you so much, Sienna, for sharing your story. By the way, if you would like to connect with other bisexual women, bisexual men, bisexual non binary people, and so many more wonderful people, then make sure you join us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/ not defining. We have group chats. You can come and ask questions to me, and I will be there to mentor and coach you 24 hours a day. We would love to see you. Also, if you would like to hear more from Xienna, then check out the details below because she has a wonderful platform of her own and she will be happy to speak with you. So I was interested to ask Xienna, what are some of the most difficult things about being a bisexual person, bisexual woman in this world? Let's hear what she has to say.
I was raised Christian, and that was extremely hard. Being raised in a religious household and figuring out you're queer in some way and having to decide if you're going to come out or not. I did, and luckily it went well. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, was come out to my devout Christian mother and think that it was going to be the worst experience ever. It actually wasn't, which I'm happy about, but I thought it was and going to be, and that was the most stressful thing ever. And as far as my friends, they took it pretty well as well, and I'm happy about that. Aside from coming out, the most second the second most stressful thing would probably be the people that I deal with on a daily basis who don't understand bisexuality or pansexuality, omnisexuality, polysexuality, anything within the bi plus or M spec community. They don't understand the labels, they don't understand how it works, and I'm thinking to myself, it's the easiest thing to understand. You just have to try, you know? And sometimes I honestly think, and I know this is pretty messed up, but sometimes I think that it would be so obviously so easy for them to understand if they were us. But obviously they're not. So they don't really get it. And it's just a shame because I feel like I'm constantly having to explain a lot of things to people, which I don't mind doing as long as you're not a jerk about things. Some people are real jerks about, wanting to confront me and tell me that they think I'm lying or they think it's a phase or they want to have a threesome or, a poly relationship. And I don't have a problem with threesomes or poly relationships. Those just aren't for me. And so it's really frustrating to, constantly have people coming up to you, and then you have like straight men fetishizing you and lesbians who do not want to date you. I've gone through both of those things multiple times. I wish I could say I didn't, but I have. And of course, I am talking about some straight men and some lesbians. I'm not here to generalize. I'm talking about the ones I've personally come across and the people I know some of my bi plus friends have dealt with. It's just not, it's not pretty. People saying it's a phase, people saying you're lying, just people that believe in bisexual stereotypes and myths and things like that, making everybody who is bi plus, they're making our lives harder and they're making our lives worse in a way. And whether it's intentional or not, it really does get on my nerves. So I'd say that's definitely one of the challenges. And people saying we have privilege, I really don't like that because we don't. That's my honest opinion. People can say we do all day, but I will never agree with that. I don't. There's so much that goes in to being a bi plus person that privilege is not one of those things. And if you think that, then I feel like you just misunderstand us and the way that our sexuality works. And I would have no problem with that if you weren't somebody who wants to pick a fight, especially on social media, because that happens a lot. We all get attacked a lot on social media. I wouldn't care if you weren't somebody who would start a fight. I would sit there and I would educate you because I'm a nice person and I will do that. And I want you to understand my sexuality and have respect for it and the people that go by my label, myself included. So I want you to understand and I want you to accept it and, tolerate it like you're, meant to as a decent person. And so I will sit there and I will explain it to you if you are not rude about it. However, if you are rude, I will have a problem. And I don't feel like that's unreasonable at all. Some people will act like, we're being aggressive when we're trying to stand up for ourselves, and that's not what it is. You don't understand. We have gone through this our entire lives. It gets frustrating. It really does. And if I seem passionate right now, it's because just thinking about it frustrates me. That's why.
I can totally relate with those things, and there's so many things that bisexual women have to experience, particularly I know around kind of being propositioned for threesomes and all of those horrible things that some of us like, but many of us don't. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Xienna. And the other thing, on a more positive note, I wanted to know from you, Xienna, is what are some of the great things about being bi?
As far as the positive things, I love that I get to be so open about love. I love how many possibilities of partners that there are. I just love the bi plus community, how positive it is despite everything we go through on a daily basis. I love our flag, love the colors. Especially the sparkly version. Have you guys seen that? It's so pretty. I had it as a phone background once. I absolutely love it. I just love the community as a whole. You know what I mean? I love how it's becoming more widely accepted, like slowly, like it's starting to happen. More and more and more, less people are having issues with it because more people are beginning to understand it, and those are the people that are working hard to understand it, and they're not being difficult, and I appreciate that. So it's always nice to deal with allies, that come and stop by the community and say, hey, like, we support you, we love you, blah, 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 you know, blah, blah, blah. I really, really appreciate that. They're like the highlights of our experience, the people who sit there and they support us, and they don't care if other people give them a lot of crap for it, and I appreciate that. But yes, the main thing I love about it is the first thing I mentioned, which is being able to be so open about love. That to me is a beautiful thing, and it's an important thing, and it's my nature, so I love being able to be open about it within my own community.
Yes, absolutely. I love what you're saying about our community, about how we are building our community and growing in awareness and visibility. And I am so, so, so proud to have you, Xienna, and all of the wonderful bisexual women, bisexual people here with us in the Not Defining community, because we are working towards that goal of acceptance and recognition. So thanks for being here. Now, here at Not Defining, we are not just about bisexuality, we are about the whole person, all of our identities coming together and really appreciating and recognizing all of those intersecting traits. So I wonder if you would tell our viewers a bit about you and your other identities.
As I said earlier, I do also identify with queer. I find that's a more like general term for people who may not want to use a label, or they just, they identify with it, and that's me. I don't use it because I don't want to constantly use the label bi. In fact, most of the time I do use the label bi, but I love the word queer. I love that it's a reclaiming of what used to be a slur. And the thing about that is, and I have to kind of go off for a minute here because, go off on a tangent, because I just thought of this as I was talking about the word queer, and how much I love it. Some people till this day still have a problem with it because they can't see past the fact that a lot of people in the community have claimed it back, and so they have a problem with people using it. I've even gotten attacked multiple times for saying queer, and they're like, on social media, and people are like, you can't use that, it's a slur, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, to you it may be, but a lot of us are reclaiming it, and I'm not making you use it. And that's very important for people to understand. Just because we use it, and I mean, I'm referring to anyone who uses it besides me, or including me, because I know it's not just me. A lot of people I talk to on social media use that word till this day. So, talking about all of us and anyone else who may use it that I don't know personally. Just because we use it doesn't mean you have to, and it doesn't mean you have to like it. But freedom of speech is important. People can say what they want, and so that's how I feel about that. I don't really like being told what I can and can't say, what I can and can't do. Being raised in a religious household, I had enough of that growing up, and I'm an adult now, so I don't need anybody telling me what to do. So it's just quite frustrating that they think they can police what comes out of my mouth. That's another frustrating thing about being a bi plus person. You can't share an opinion without somebody telling you you don't exist, or your opinion doesn't matter, because you're not a real part of the community. And so that's like an issue I have with the word queer. Not so much with the word, but with people who don't want me to use it. Like, it's a word, okay? And it's important to me that I reclaim it. I'm very passionate about that, and so I don't appreciate people trying to stop me from using it.
So, right, I totally agree with what you're saying about queer identity as well. And if there's anybody who would like more information on queerness or the term queer, then check out this video, should be popping up. I talk all about the ins and outs of that and how we use it and how we can make sure we use it in the right way, in a respectful way. So another thing that I wanted to ask Xienna was, what advice would you have for anyone who is maybe struggling with their identity, or growing up at the moment, or coming to their bi-ness, or just living as a bisexual woman or person in this world? Let's hear what advice Xienna has for us.
Well, if you relate to anything I've said so far or anything I'm about to say next, I would just say no matter what, you need to keep being yourself. Once you realize who you are, you do not let go of that. You don't let anybody tell you that it's not you, or you don't matter, or your existence is worthless, or anything negative like that. You have to live for you. You don't live for other people. What matters is your opinion of yourself, how you see yourself, what you think of yourself, how you feel about yourself and your identity. As long as you're happy, nobody else matters, especially those who want to be negative, okay? That's the first thing I'd say. I'd also say if you're somebody who needs help in the bi plus community, reach out to not just me. You can definitely reach out to me, and Mark will tell you more about that at some point in this video. But you can reach out to anybody in the bi plus community, even like those resources on Twitter that are made to help bisexual people. The Trevor Project, if you're younger, I think they help people up to 24 years old. So if you know, if you're up to 24, they help teens and adolescents, and and younger adults who are queer, including bisexual people. And so please go check them out if you haven't. Yeah, you can always talk to me if you need to. I've been out for 11 years, so I know what it's like not just to be in the closet. I mean, I was in the closet for 11 years. So I don't just know what it's like to be in the closet, but I also know what it's like to be out of the closet. I've been out now since I was around 18 or 19 years old, and I am 27 now. So I have quite a lot of experience with being in and out of the closet. So if you need any help with that, any help with relationships, any help with anything, but yes, be yourself unapologetically. Don't apologize for anything. That used to be a bad habit of mine when I was younger. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Don't ever be sorry for who you are. Don't ever be sorry for how you choose to express your love or sex or anything else you may be interested in. Or even if you're not, fine, that's fine too. Don't let anybody tell you there's one way to be bisexual. There's not. Me, myself, have a preference for women, and I don't let anybody tell me I'm not bi. Okay, you can't do that. You have to be true to you, and who cares about people who don't know, who don't understand, who want to be ignorant and or arrogant about your identity? The point is they don't know you because they're not you, and they don't know your identity because they're not you. Only you can know how it really works. Don't let anybody tell you how they think it works. It's not up to them. They wouldn't like it if you said that about their identity, especially if they're monosexual. Monosexuals are oftentimes the people who try to tell us about ourselves, and it never works, and it never will. But because they will never understand that, we have to understand that for ourselves so that we never let them win over us, because these are very negative people who are biphobic, and they try to, destroy our side of the community. And of course, I'm not referring to every monosexual. I know quite a few that are allies, and they're quite lovely. I'm talking about the ones that aren't. Okay? That's my advice with them, is don't let them get to you, no matter what they say about bisexuality or you in general. Don't let what they say get in your head, okay? Now, only your opinion matters, not theirs, not anybody else's. It's your life, it's your identity, and you have the right to own it, whether people think you do or not. You can call yourself whatever you want. If somebody tells you, don't use queer, it's a slur, if you want to use it, use it. I do. I don't care. I'm unapologetic about that, because it fits me, and that's what matters. If you find something that fits you, use it. Embrace your bi plus identity, because it's a beautiful thing. Don't let anyone tell you it isn't. And if you want to go out there and explore your love or sex or anything like that, go ahead, do it. If you don't, that's fine too. Another big thing, you do not have to explore. You don't have to act on your urges or desires or feelings. It's about attraction, not action. Don't let anybody tell you it's not that the case, because I've had many people on Twitter try to tell me that being bisexual or anything under that umbrella is all about who you sleep with. Some people who are bi don't even sleep with anyone, or even if they, because some bi people are also ace, but even if you're not, you may not want to sleep with anybody for any other reason, and that's your business. Don't let anybody try and convince you it's their business, because it's not. If they're not in your bed, it's not their business. That's how I feel about it, okay? And because that's a very personal thing. Whether you want to be sexual or romantic with someone or not, don't do it unless you want to. You know what I mean? Make sure you're ready to do it. Don't let anybody pressure you. Don't let anyone pressure you into a poly relationship or a threesome unless it's really what you want. You have to want it. Who cares what everybody else wants? This is your life. You're the one that has to go through it and, live with whatever consequences or experiences you go through. That other person who wants to pressure you, they don't have to deal with the aftermath of whatever happens, if anything negative happens. And I'm not saying anything negative ever will, but you never know. Anything negative can happen at any point, and don't let people convince you it's your fault if they were the one to pressure you. That's how I feel about that. Do things for you, don't do things for other people, because, you're the one that matters. And you have to make yourself happy before anyone else. And you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. Period. That's how it works. And you have to know that. Whether you're out or not, that's another thing. You don't have to come out either. You don't have to act on your feelings for them to be valid. And you don't have to come out if you don't want to. These are all myths that people have created within the queer community. Oh, you have to come out or you're not really queer. Oh, you have to have sex with somebody or you're not really queer. Like, you have to be acting on your feelings. No, none of that is true. If that's not what you want, don't do it. Don't let somebody convince you that you have to, or else you're not queer. Because that's a bunch of crap, to be frank about it. Overall, just be yourself. And don't let anybody tell you there's anything wrong with that, because there isn't. You're you for a reason, and it's a beautiful thing. And don't let anyone take that away. So that would be my advice.
Thank you so much, Xienna, for those powerful words. I really felt that. I know that there'll be so many people at home watching who really feel what you're saying and will be inspired by your words. So thank you so much for sharing them. Finally, I just wanted to ask Xienna, how can we contact you? How can we get in touch with you? How can we find out more about you and the fantastic advocacy work that you do?
Come talk to me on Twitter, and you could also check out my bisexuality newsletter. I have paid posts, and I also have free posts on Substack. And some new exciting stuff is coming there. I won't spoil it here, but yeah, I'm planning something big for it, and if I can reach my paid subscriber goal, I will be able to produce what I'm thinking of right now for an extension to what I'm already working on. So, just a heads up on that. And again, make sure that you check out the Trevor Project, which I hope will be below for you guys, along with my own Substack newsletter, and my personal Twitter account, which will also be down below. Come talk to me, come follow me, come send me a message, or if you feel comfortable, just send me a regular tweet and I'll reply to it. If it's something private, message me, so that you don't have to worry about anyone else seeing it. You can trust me, I'm not going to share your messages or anything. It'll be between you and me. And yeah, me and Mark will be here for all of you. All we want to do is help, especially the younger generation, because we know what it's like. We were in your spot at some point. So we're here for you guys because we know how hard it is. And yeah, even if it doesn't get easier as an adult, it's worth it. And that's another piece of advice. Don't think it isn't. I know it's going to be hard. Hard means it is worth it. Okay? If it wasn't hard, since it is, that means it's worth it. So just, keep moving on. And I believe and trust in all of you guys. I know you can do it. And again, we're here for you. Thank you so much, Mark, for inviting me onto your channel. I really appreciate it. And bye, everyone.
Thank you so much to the amazing Xienna for coming on our show, coming on our channel and being an amazing part of our community. We love you so, so, so much. I am sending so much love to you across the pond, and I really look forward to hearing more from you and more from all of you guys at home. So what do you think about what Xienna has said? Will you post a comment? Maybe share your experiences. Do you have different experiences, or do you relate with things that we've talked about today? As always, I would love, 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 love to know. A big, big, big thank you to Xienna for coming and being with us. If you can, go and check her out. The details are below. She would love your support. So go and give Xienna loads of love and support. And if you liked this video, then please let us know in the comments. We would be so happy to hear about it. If you would like to hear more about being a bisexual guy, then check out this video. And if you would like to know more about bisexuality in general, then check out this playlist. I will speak to you again soon. Thank you, Xienna, and have a fantastic day. That's all for now. Bye for now.